Hi, miss. Wait, you don't see me yet, do you? You don't even. Oh, and I have bedhead. And I don't even know your name, but I just saw, your video about dragons. And, well, obviously I'm speaking out of, what could be called personal opinion or personal conjecture. But you were talking about dragons. And, you made it sound pretty mystical and beautiful, and you definitely opened my eyes a bit. But, this is my perspective, and maybe I'll open your eyes a little bit. I'm into Magic too, and you know, reality. I'll just call it reality. I'm into reality too, actual reality, not just you know, the other whatever you want to call it. Not as real reality, less quantum physics involved. I'm into quantum physics reality. So you were talking about dragons, and you were talking about how mystical they are, and like how for some reason no one can see them, and they got a like almost a shield around them. And I don't know if you've heard the term reptilian, or read the Bible, where the snake is what screws over humanity, or know all the stories about basically reptiles of different, well, dragons coming down from the sky and starting civilization. But, well, what is there to say? So much as they are interdimensional creatures and they're mystical and we're interdimensional creatures and we're mystical and we're okay. There's no difference. My soul this is this dimension's part of me, and then around that is another dimension of me, and probably under that is another, like, that's just it. There are dimensions, and there's no actual separation between the dimensions. The only separation between the dimensions is perception. So this idea that the dragons are in fact more mystical than us is based on perception. It's they may seem mystical in comparison to how we seem to us, but we may seem mystical in comparison to how we seem to them. Uh, so, and I don't know if you know this. Well, actually, well, you must know something. We obviously have reptiles in this dimension, and I don't mean like reptilian, like extraterrestrials. I do, but I don't. I mean like all reptiles. We've got reptiles, and genes react. DNA reacts electromagnetically and reacts to the energy of your chi, aura, whatever you want to call it, your energy, what you are, your essence, your existence. So reptilians are all connected. Mammals are all connected. In fact, mammals are connected to reptilians, and reptilians are connected to mammals, like we are. But the closer you are to something, the more connected you are. Like, our bodies are chosen from us for us. Our bodies are an outer shell, and it's all great and well and good that, like, oh, matter is only material, but matter is material of spirit. So there's nothing, this is part of my soul. This whole thing, the whole thing, you know. So I don't know if you were aware of this though. The reptilians have crossbred with our species. There's a chance that these creatures that you're talking about, these interdimensional creatures, are no more than ghosts of reptilians that are alive. Because what is a ghost? It's an interdimensional creature. We're an interdimensional creature, and we have ghosts. So yeah, and if you read, I can't say that I know for sure, but I do know that there is a whole lot of evidence that reptilians have been deceiving humanity. And you just explained that you believe that dragons have this shield around them, this eye shield. And I don't know how you feel about someone not wanting you to see anything about how they look or what they are, but that to me, um, it all adds up, doesn't it? That they started civilization, and civilization's going down the drain, and oh, you know, dragons are magical and they always help us, but for some reason nothing ever gets done. Somehow. It's like we're going backwards. You don't think about that? You think the dragons left? The dragons didn't leave. Think about it. They used to draw people with halos, right? They used to draw people with halos. You think it's because people like, of course you can see the halo, but you can see the halo if you've got the sight for it. It's not that everyone saw a halo. The artists who painted, they did have sight because an artist just naturally, because artists are the shit. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm just trying to tell you, if you start believing that there's some infallible creature from another dimension that'll help you if it chooses you, and it's a great honor, and it's not any more infallible than anything else. There's no reason. If you're happy a dragon's helping you, why aren't you happy that the worms are helping you? You know, why aren't you happy that, like, and that's just it. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about the dragons. I'm saying maybe there's a secret behind why everyone either says that they're really bad or really good. Hmm? And they're literally people, genetically part reptilian. I don't know if you know this, but there are people who, if they're, the black part of your pupil, how it gets smaller, there are people that will have the little reptilian, like sideways pupil. I don't know how to describe it, but there are people who will have pupils shaped like this, and most people don't notice it, but it's like almost like 1%. Like it's less than 10%. Less than 10% of humanity is well, a large enough part reptilian for us to notice. And most people don't even notice because most people don't even know the reptilian race exists. But if you look in mythology, you can find like the Indians called them the Nagas. The Africans had another. The Africans believed that their god was a snake, and he had lots of snake children. Like these dragons. The dragon is just a word. It's like I just call myself a god. Of course I'm a god. I'm not a god though. I'm a god. I'm not. I'm just a god. I'm just another god. Dragons aren't dragons. They're snakes. They're reptiles. They're something, but they're not any more than you and me. And this idea that if it came to help you, it's infallible and it's a great honor. Not necessarily true. The same way that if I just, find some random girl and seduce her, it doesn't necessarily mean that. Of course, you're thinking, oh, but Chris, you're not perfect like a dragon is, and that's my point. You can't imagine that a dragon is perfect. That's the mistake that everyone makes. It's idolatry. When you idolize something, when you really think something's infallible, when you really idolize something, but only because it's different than you, you've made a fundamental fuck up. A fundamental fuck up. Because that's what creates duality. I'm this and he's that. We're different. We're not the same. That's what creates jealousy. That's what creates deceit. What creates trickery of oneself. It's all the same. And they've been using this against us for ages, and it's only because we find it so hard to relate ourselves to reptiles. But we're part reptilian. We merged with them. They merged with us. They're so old. If you look at least Edgar Casey's version of human history. If you look at Edgar Casey's version of human history, he states that the original race of humans laid eggs. And even modern history says that mammals grew out of reptiles. And then there are all these myths about reptile people. It all kind of adds up. It all kind of just. I'm just letting you know, these dragons you're semi-worshipping, or not even semi-worship, whatever you want to call what you're doing. Maybe you don't even notice. I feel as though it's semi-worship, but maybe that's because I feel admiration for what you said about them. And I'm not saying there aren't good dragons. There must be. It's impossible for there not to be, right? But at the same time, that also means that there are dragons that are trash. Just like there are people that are trash, and one man's trash is another man's treasure. But there are different men, and Well, if you look at history, like me personally, I look at history and I think, well, it didn't have to go down that way, did it? It didn't really have to. We could have done other things. So that's all I'm saying. When you look at history, there's this big thing, there's this big kind of elephant in the room, kind of saying, well, the reptilians have been manipulating us. And it's like, well, how could the reptilians have been manipulating us? We don't even know they exist. And it's like, well, that's proof. We don't know they exist. They're a giant species, lives on our own planet, interbred with us. We have legends of them, but we don't know they exist. That means they've been hiding. It's not like they don't know that they're reptilian. They have a shield around them. You don't you think about it. Why would somebody have an eye shield unless they're afraid of you seeing their true nature? And I'm an empath. I can feel people's souls. I can feel people's energy. If something doesn't want you to see its true nature, it can't be that. It's impossible. It's impossible. Literally. Because the same when a human needs healing, part of healing is being able to be seen. Because if you can be seen, it means that you're willing to see. And if you're willing to see, it means that you accept. And if you accept, it means that you love. And that's an advanced creature. An advanced creature is a creature that can exist and not just imagine negativity out of exist. Oh, why do I exist? Oh, I don't want to exist. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be heard. I don't want I don't want physical existence. I don't want responsibility. I don't that's when a creature starts destroying itself. But and that's my point. So what I'm saying is these reptilians um they're the devil. They're the scapegoat. I'm not saying they're the devil as in like, oh my god, they're evil and we have to destroy them. Because that's the same problem, isn't it? The exact same problem. We would have just done the same thing again, made some genocide of like a bunch of snake people. No, I'm not saying we should genocide the snake people. I'm saying think about outside the box. Even if that means that you think outside the box that the people outside the box think it. You know, the world does not. Yeah, you get it, probably. But yeah, I'm just letting you know it's all been a symbol for another race. It's the same way that if a gray alien had a soul and he appeared to me, he probably appeared to me as a gray alien in his soul, unless he preferred a past life's version of himself, or he just really wanted to look different. But yeah, dragons just really aren't that mystical compared to humans. They're about this. They're not even about the same. They're the same, literally the exact same thing. You know, creatures of the universe, creatures of God and the all. So this idea of mystifying them is the same mistake that they made when they started thinking that they should be able to manipulate us. They've mystified themselves the same way that anyone who's power hungry mystifies themselves, makes themselves believe, oh well, I deserve to do this, and that's why I have the ability to. It's in the Declaration of Independence, and they state literally, and these aren't the exact words, of course, but they state, God, if God didn't want us to take this country, he wouldn't have given us the money, the supplies, and the manpower. Pretty much. He'd pretty much just say, well, if God didn't want me to do it, he'd stop me. That's all God is. God is nature. God is existence. God is not above us. The dragons are not above us. Ascended beings are not above us. Ascended beings are beings who can see into ascension. If the energies of the fifth dimension are already flowing through the universe, then I'm already in the fucking fifth dimension. I'm already there. I might not be able to see it so well, maybe I can't accept that I'm there yet, or maybe I haven't absorbed that I'm there yet, but we're there. Therefore, if there's a dragon next to me, I'm we're the same. We're both in heaven. We're both in hell. The same thing. We're both the devil. Maybe he blames me for his misfortunes. And I'm done now. Hope you at least didn't get bored.